Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live, the show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And on today's show, we're talking, of course, all things spoilers for Loki Episode 5, Season 2, Episode 5.
New trailers for Marvel's, Echo, Fall Guy, and a lot more.
And could the original Avengers make their return and appearances in future MCU project? All this and more coming up on today's show. First of all, thank you all for hanging out with us, and happy Saturday. And you can't see our faces because I didn't do this. My bad.
Here we are.
It was a true podcast for a second there. It was a true podcast. Which we should do. We think we should upload these as podcasts?
We could. I mean, it's just
YouTube has like a button now.
All you have to do is just like change a live stream to a podcast. Super easy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but then it's not available
these days.
But then it's not available on Spotify.
Oh.
Or Apple Podcasts. So I think I have to do that separately. But anyways, seeing all of you guys in the chat, thank you for being here on a lovely Saturday. First and foremost, we are so sorry. We missed a super chat last week towards the end there. So I'm going to read it out loud for today. So let me just get to that real quick. I felt terrible because I saw it after the fact.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that once you're talking, it's just like, kind of scrolls by and then you're like, oh, nuts.
Yeah. All right. This is from Jojo Da Boy, who's basically I think they were asking how we were enjoying overall Loki season 2. We are enjoying it so much, and we're definitely going to be talking about it later on today in the show, so stay tuned for that. We kind of have like news up ahead, just so up in the front of the show, just so for anybody who hasn't had the time to catch up with Loki can stay and hang out rather than getting the entire show spoiled for them. But there's a lot to talk about.
Yep, because we actually just yesterday we filmed a lot of trailer reactions, and there's a lot of them that I really want to talk about.
Yes.
Honestly, one that if you guys want, you can actually, it's up on our channel right now. It's edited. It's all good to go. Is the Fall Guy trailer.
Fall Guy trailer.
Which I have to admit, I did not see coming. And when I finally watched the trailer, you guys are going to love my reaction. I loved what this what this trailer brings to what the showing about. Oh,
sorry for your ears.
But this trailer looks awesome. It's fun. It's Ryan Gosling to the max, and I am just really excited about about Fall Guy, about this movie that I knew nothing about.
Yeah, and
now I'm like, oh, it looks so good.
It looks so good. I remember talking to, I think I did an article on it for one of my freelance writing jobs, and I had to do a bit of a research because it's inspired and slightly based off of the series that starred Lee Majors, and it's also the same name, The Fall Guy. But I feel like the premise is different because in that one, the stunt guy was like a crime fighting person, and this one, Ryan Gosling, and I think it's a different character's name also, maybe. I don't know because I never watched the original series. But we weren't alive yet.
But Lee Majors, is the $1 million man and
$6 billion,
$6 million man,
something like that,
which is like nothing in today's money. But the fact that it does kind of make sense that they would have a TV show back then to where he was a crime-fighting stuntman.
Yes,
and it just fits with what kind of TV shows were out and about around that time. So honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Lee Majors as
he was a bounty hunter. Thank you, yes, DJ. Colt it's the same name, Colt Seavers.
Oh,
okay, so it is the same name. So that's interesting. Like, I never thought I would want to see the comedic duel of Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt on screen so badly. And now that I have seen the trailer, I mean, look, they're both fantastic actors. I don't believe that they have worked together. So this is going to be a first for the both of them. I am so excited. And I think, with Ryan coming off of his performance in Barbie, he's just going to, he's always been so good though.
Yeah.
Anything that he's been in, he's been great.
Not only is he incredibly handsome, he's also incredibly talented.
Yes.
You know, so, and I've heard he's a really cool guy. So
I
all around, you know,
met
not
him.
Fair. Everyone gets everything.
No, for real.
Looks, talent, and personality.
Yes, and yeah, all around. I met him briefly in
really?
2010 when I worked the Los Angeles Haunted Hayride as a scare actor. And he came through with at the time he came through because with like celebrities, they have the, if you have, anybody technically can have it if you have the money to pay for it, like a private hayride wagon that
haunted
the trail, the haunted hayride. So this, you know, wagon pulled up and it was just two people. We're like, oh, we wonder like if they just like to have privacy, like, because it was expensive, but like not as expensive as like some of the other like, you know, exclusive private things. Like I think it was like maybe just upwards of $1,000, maybe less. I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't ask me. But as they got closer, because I was playing like one of two twins, so think like the Shining twins, sort of.
But if you took the Shining twins and mixed it with kind of like a doll kind of an effect, to where and a little bit of the Ring.
Yeah,
that was the kind of the character that Winnie would
that was
play.
us. We would do like Ring Around the Rosie and all that messed up, like sing-songy stuff. But my twin like kind of walked up behind me and whispered out of the earshot of them. She's like, "That's Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes," and I'm like, oh my God, we have to scare them so good. Yeah, because we were the first like scene when you pull into the hayride back in 2010. So I went up and I kind of got to, and you can walk really close to the wagon, and like got up kind of like maybe like this close. I don't like to get too close to his ears. And I was like, "Come play with us, Ryan." And he looked stunned. And he was like, "How do they know my name?" A lot of celebrities did that, actually. Megan Fox did the same thing. How do they know my name? And I'm like, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? But anyways, that was my quick interaction with Ryan Gosling. And they looked like she was cracking up. We tried to scare her, but she took it like a champ. I think he was a little bit more taking it, because like it was like the first, like my first attack was like I'm just gonna say his name
right in his face.
And he's just like, oh God. And anyways, so that was a lot of fun. And then thank you for watching our reactions. Right here. Thank you. And thank you for joining the live stream. Okay, let's talk about the Echo trailer as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this our trailer reaction is not out, but we did see it yesterday, and we recorded our reaction to it. Honestly, out of all of the series that are coming out, this is the series that I was probably the least excited about when I first heard about it. I was kind of like, Echo, I mean, don't get me wrong, she was cool in Hawkeye, and I like what they did with her character, but can we really do a whole series around her? And then I saw the trailer, and I'm sitting here going, oh, they went into a very dark, very graphic, very just gritty way on this trailer and on what this show is going to be. You know, within the first couple seconds, you have someone's head getting like blown off pretty much.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is not what I expected. And it just looks super intense. And now I'm really excited about it. I'm really interested on what story they're going to tell, how they're going to tell this relationship between Echo and Kingpin. It really looks like it's going to be their dynamic, and it's going to be their dark criminal underbelly story. And I'm just like, they
realize they needed showrunners, because I believe on Secret Invasion, they didn't have them, which is like the normal approach to television, to have a showrunner.
Yeah, and honestly, I have to tell you, the one that I was most excited about was Secret Invasion, and ever since before Secret Invasion, I was still kind of on the Marvel bandwagon. I was still supporting. I was like, you know what? I liked Quantum Mania. I thought it was fun, a little campy. Don't get me wrong; it was not perfect. I did not like what they did with MODOK. I kind of was upset that they beat a Kang so easily. But there was still a lot of fun moments, and I was always going into Ant-Man, not taking it seriously because it's Ant-Man. It's supposed to be one of those tongue-in-cheeks kind of movies. But overall, I enjoyed it. But then once we got into Secret Invasion and what they did with Secret Invasion,
there were so many good things about it too. There were a lot of things that we were enjoying about it, but I just think as we got closer and closer to that finale, we were starting to see how it could potentially play out. And we're like, okay, well, let's say in it. It's fine. I really feel like they fumbled that finale for an otherwise like, really interesting take on Secret Invasion. I know it did not follow the comic book.
Not at all. Not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, they really just took the comic book and went, okay, Skrulls invade Earth, and then threw it away.
Yeah.
And ever since that, I have kind of been looking back on a lot of the Marvel properties and been going like, oh, I can now really see and really understand a lot of the gripes and complaints that people have about Marvel properties now.
Yes.
And before I was kind of just happy going along with it, but I'm now a little bit more nervous about the direction that Marvel is taking with a lot of its properties. But I have to admit, when I saw Echo, I'm like, okay, I like this direction. So I'm excited for Echo now.
Yeah, I have thoughts on Echo. We're going to definitely get into, there's like a lot of Marvel talk on today's show. It wasn't planned to be that way. I tried to collect other news, but it was just like people were sending me stuff and also sending it via our Discord. And I was like, oh, I guess we should talk about this. But before we dive a little bit more into all the Marvel talk, Marvel news, and Echo, I don't want to miss any more super chat. So thank you to Marvin Martin for your super chat.
Thank you, Marvin.
Marvin is always really great about giving us recommendations that we checked out, whether it's videos, music videos, fun videos. What did he send us? Realistic Spider-Man or something like that?
Oh my gosh.
My life is not the same after that one.
Something correct Spider-Man. Whatever. That's not the right word.
Yes.
But yeah, we're now traumatized by that.
Yes. So today he is recommending Jeff Castellucci's Jack's Lament. Oh, and Icy Fire. Voice plays Hellfire and Creep. Maya AGP. Oh, America's Got Talent, Phoenix, and Snake Dance. So that sounds like fun. And the new trailer for Shogun Remake, which we also did a trailer reaction for. I just did not I have not edited it yet, but it should all go up later on today. So thank you so much for all of your recommendations. I feel like I've seen the Jack's Lament, but some of the other ones I definitely have not seen. I'm curious about the Snake Dance, and we'll definitely check it out. Okay, and then we have another super chat. This one is from Theodore Harris. Thank you, Theodore. Theodore writes, hey guys, what do you think about the Marvel's Spotlight branding announcement? So I asked Theodore, because I know nothing about it, so I asked Theodore to send a link. I don't know if, do you guys see I don't see a link. Maybe you send it via Discord. Can you check Discord?
Oh, yeah, I can see if I can bring up Discord.
Since you have your phone on you. And while scientifically accurate.
Scientifically
Spider-Man.
accurate.
Thank you, Marvin. Okay. So the Echo trailer really caught me off guard as well. Because I don't remember reading or hearing that they had the intention of setting it with a rated M for mature at all, which I screamed, by the way, in the video. Well, you will see when it goes up today, sometime after this live stream ends, because I do still have to edit it. So maybe like an hour, 40 minutes after it ends, after our live stream ends. But with Echo, there was such a long amount of time between seeing her being introduced in the Hawkeye series to getting her own series. So like at the time when we were watching Hawkeye, I was pretty excited to see what
it's not Discord.
Okay. I was pretty excited to see her story and where we're gonna go, especially that last moment we saw her interaction with Kingpin. I was like, ooh, how's this gonna play out? Like it's kind of a no-brainer that he would survive this.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vincent D'Onofrio.
It's Vincent D'Onofrio, and it's Kingpin, whom we know is going to have a major part in the Daredevil Born Again series.
Yes.
So I was like, but like exactly how that played out, I wanted to know. But this trailer gave me way more than that, because I thought it was just going to be the majority of like the aftermath. But it looked like, and especially I think when they show a trailer, a lot of the footage that they pull for the trailer are in the first initial few episodes. But we get to see a lot of like Echo's origin, a lot of Maya's, a lot of her origin. So
and how protective Kingpin is of her.
That one ice cream, was it ice cream dude?
Yeah, it was like an ice cream guy. I think it's an ice cream guy. And yeah, she tries to go up and get some ice cream. He's like, I don't know what you want. Get out of here. And then Kingpin beats the living heck out of him. I'm pretty sure I don't know if he's selling ice cream very much anymore.
I don't think so. But another really cool thing about the trailers, aside from, how kind of like gritty and as far as like blood and gore, not gore, but like bloody and violence and stuff like that, like they kicked that up a notch, was they made sure that they kind of used the audio in the way that Echo would experience situations. So the sounds are either very muffled or no sounds at all, especially during that fight scene. You couldn't hear the punches land, but she wouldn't. But she would feel a bone or a neck cracking.
Neck crack? Oh, I was like, oh, it really makes it so it's good. Not just the fact that you are watching the fight, you are experiencing the fight. The fact that you are actually feeling what she's feeling, hearing what she's hearing, really just made a bigger impact on how that fight was being portrayed up on screen. And I think that's a really cool way to do it.
Can you... Oh, never mind. Okay, sorry. So, yeah. Oh, hello.
Sorry. I'm actually drinking my liquid IV. He's getting some energy in.
Getting some air bubble out.
Yep.
Energy in, air bubble out. By the way, if you guys are interested in getting your own liquid IV to try, we do have a promo code that gives you 20% off plus free shipping, and it's an evergreen code, so you can use it for like a reorder if you have run out. And it's just our name, The Movie Couple, no space. And you have to order directly off of the Liquid IV website.
And I'm drinking the mango tamarind. This is actually an energy one.
It's a new flavor.
I like it. This is the one I'm starting to drink a lot every morning before I go to work. Because if I drink like coffee before I go to work, I get a little grumbly.
I think a lot of people have the same experience with coffee.
But Liquid IV does not do that for my... So I get my energy and I don't get the shakes, which helps a lot.
A great thing about like Liquid IV, the website, is like, I know you can find it on like Amazon or Costco, but Costco, while they sell in bulk and the cost is good per stick, I think you only get specific flavors. Like they're kind of like basic original flavors, but the website has so much more. They also have it for kids. They have different flavors, like you said. The mango tamarind is one of them. They have like a strawberry lemonade. They have passion fruit, guava, watermelon. They have like a yuzu, kiwi. They have this like kombucha one too that was like really interesting that I like a lot because I do like kombucha. Yeah, so I have to like reorder that. We use our own code when we reorder. Anyways, all right. So back to the Echo thing, and then can somebody send in? Oh no, I set her off. Hold on.
We have an Amazon device. So every time we say that certain word, she's like, hey, what? But I have to admit, the Echo series actually, oh my gosh. You have to turn it off. You have to flip a switch to turn it off. But yeah, I have to admit, the series looks amazing. It looks brutal. It looks dark. I mean, it looks menacing. And I'm just like, I am now a lot more interested in this series than I was before.
I just unplugged her. Sorry. Hey, Tourism here says you like kombucha, and I like kombucha a lot, but like specifically, I only like certain brands like the Healthy Aid or whatever it is that they sell at Trader Joe's, Synergy, but they get expensive, which is why sometimes I go with the because it's like upwards of like $5 or $6 maybe for a bottle. I usually only get it when
it's really expensive.
But
you know what? So a friend of mine at work once was actually like making their own kombucha.
Oh, impressive.
And I was like, ooh, I want to try to do that.
Impressive.
I tried to make my own like mead once. It turned out terrible.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I remember. It was not good. Okay, so looking forward to Echo. I like the direction that they're going in for that one, at least from what we could see in the trailer. We haven't gotten to see the series, right? So we don't know. Another interesting thing too is that this is I want to say the first series, Marvel live action series, so not counting What If, that is dropping all of the episode all at once.
All at once. And it makes, I mean, I guess it makes sense if they're kind of like, if they're a little bit behind on some of their releases because of because of the writer strike, the actor strike, because of COVID and just other things that have postponed certain series. They're like, oh, we don't want these two to overlap. You know what? Just give Echo all at once.
Yes.
And it makes sense. So I'm cool that we can actually just binge it on one day and get like half of it all out and ready to go.
Yeah. So I know everybody's feeling certain ways about like, you know, like, do we have Marvel fatigue? Because Phase 4, you know, coming off of the incredible like Endgame, Infinity War, all of that stuff, it's kind of like you have to kind of rebuild that. I am still on the Marvel train. I will also acknowledge not all of their projects have been hits. I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. Like, I really freaking love that movie. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like that kind of falls under like the OG Avengers category. In a way, they're not really OG, but they were introduced to and then be included in that last phase. So, but I still believe that they have a lot of really good stories to tell and really cool characters to introduce. I'm very, very looking forward to how they're going to do Daredevil. I would like to see more of characters like Moon Knight make their return because God, that show was really fun too.
Especially the way they ended it too, so you know it's not over. But and also, I don't think it's superhero fatigue. I don't think it's whatever certain reasons. I think it's just a very common thing that happens with popular franchises is the fact that once it becomes popular, the big wigs are like, oh, let's do more, just throw them out. It's quantity over quality. And it's just the fact that I just feel like it's that they're just trying to throw too much out and and it's more of a cash grab. When that happens, that's when you start getting the fatigue. And I feel like once it happened with a certain CEO, but now that I feel like they can course correct, there's still time to course correct and get things back on track and kind of just make it a little bit simpler. So instead of throwing all these different things out.
Okay, I think I found the thing that Theodore Harris was talking about. Also, hello, everybody. Say hi to Galaxy Geeks, our friends on YouTube. They also make reaction videos and really incredible shorts. They are awesome, so go ahead and check them out. Galaxy Geeks right here. Thanks for stopping by. Had to swing by and show some love. Thank you.
Hearts.
There you go.
You've got one side of the heart that's this big, the other side that's that big.
And how are you feeling at the moment with the Marvels since it releases this week? I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think one of the biggest draw for me is getting to see Miss Marvel on the big screen because this will be her first time, as well as Monica Rambeau for the first time because both of those characters. Well, young Monica was on screen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But because but time has passed. So like this actor and in her current like state has not. You know, this Monica has not been introduced to the big screen yet, as well as Miss Marvel. But their shows, you know, like I enjoyed, you know, like Monica was in WandaVision. Miss Marvel obviously was in Miss Marvel. We enjoyed both of those shows. And then another thing that I'm excited for to watch the Marvels is one, like where they're going to take the story. And I really want to see like that tension, whether it's going to be resolved or not between Carol and Monica and Park Seo-joon. Park Seo-joon is literally probably going to be in the movie for just like a little while, but I'm excited. Park Seo-joon is a South Korean actor. He is in series like Itaewon Class, probably the one that a lot of people have seen. It's quite popular. I think he was in My Mister. Dream. There's a movie that he's got out right now with South Korean legend IU, amongst many things. So I'm looking for as a K-drama content lover, I am so excited for Park Seo-joon's like America movie debut. Okay. So I feel like we're all over the place today. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm really. It's because we're talking Marvel, so everything's kind of like
And there's
blending in, right?
Yeah, there's so much Marvel news out there, so much Marvel talk about there, and there's also just a lot of Marvel controversy right now.
Yes.
So it's very easy to kind of talk about one thing, hop on a little over to this road to talk about this, but then hop over to this to talk about that.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense that it's very easy to go off track when we're talking about Marvel.
So we're going to talk about this real quick, Marvel Spotlight branding announcement. And I was like, what is it? So I finally found it. And this is from the Direct. And it says, Marvel announced that one upcoming series will get a new, this is what it is. Okay. A new banner label following in the tradition of some Marvel Comics branding. So Disney Plus series, I'm trying to find the part where they give the example. Okay, one show to begin new spotlight category. So following the release of the new Echo trailer, Marvel Studios revealed that the show would be the first under a new label within the MCU, the Marvel Spotlight banner. And it explains that the Spotlight projects will have a musical fanfare, composed by frequent Marvel collaborator Michael Giacchino, implying a departure from the standard Marvel Studios logo music and visual buildup.
You know what? And you know what?
Okay.
With Echo, it is very different than other Marvel properties. The way that they're actually making it a lot more violent.
Interesting.
It makes sense.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if they're going to start trying to lean into the whole
rated
Moffat mature, but also kind of be like, hey, you know what? DC's got a good idea with having their main DC storyline and then having their Elseworld, so they could have stories that they, you know, we don't have to worry about connecting it to anything else. Let's just have a good standalone Echo movie, or let's have just a good standalone story about this. That might be let's retell an Iron Man story, but not have Robert Downey Jr. in it. And that makes sense. I mean, honestly, there are some times that we just want a good story that doesn't connect to everything. So, but then you can still have your main Marvel, you know, PG-13 Marvel style movies and fanfare.
So going back to the announcement as well. So in the comics, it says this. Okay. The announcement discusses how Marvel Spotlight is rooted in Marvel Comics' 85-year publishing history, as it is inspired by the comics line of the same name, which began in 1971. So, and then the next paragraph explains, in the comics, Marvel Spotlight was a way for fans interested in less fantastical, cosmic level Marvel to focus in on that without needing the other larger context of the universe. So does Daredevil fall into that?
Yep. Well, and also that was something that they were talking about years and years ago, is the fact that they were going to have, three separate, not three different universes, but three different focuses. For example, they would have like Guardians of the Galaxy, and they would have like that other planets, other galaxies kind of storyline. You would have the more magical realms, kind of like with Thor and Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. And then you would have the more earthly troubles of like Daredevil, Captain America, and they would rarely cross and intermingle because they are so off in their different worlds and different struggles, so to speak. And I wish they would actually focus a little bit more on that. I guess they're kind of building up to that.
Yeah.
But and with the Marvel fanfare, it seems like that they're trying to lean more into that.
Yes.
So you can get more different flavors of Marvel.
And thank you to MK, who found the quote by Brad Winterbaum, who says this, and I'm just going to go ahead and read that aloud. And so it says, Marvel Spotlight will give us a platform to bring more grounded, character-driven stories to the screen, which allows for consumption of the entire continuity to be less of a necessity. I like that a lot, actually. I think that's a good step in the right direction, because I wonder if some people get turned off, especially if you're like getting into the MCU stuff now. Like you have all this like precursor stuff to watch. Is it fun? Absolutely, dive into it. But is it also time consuming? Yes. And like, you know, time is valuable. You only have so many hours in a day. You have to do this and that. And then you want to watch and catch up with all of this. And it's a lot, plus the TV shows. Yeah. So I think that like without having to dive into all of the precursors and like this is what's necessary. Here is all of it for you, like in a bento box. Great.
And you know, it does kind of make sense too that around this time they are starting to work their way towards a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that they're planning on doing that with the multiverse, with the Kang dynasty,
Mm-hmm.
and with all the variants, and going into Secret War.
Yes.
And I think it's not going to be as smooth of a ride as it was for the whole Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
I think the multiverse saga had a lot of bumps and hurdles and things that they had to get over. So, but once I think they get to that point to where they're like, okay, let's just reboot this, and they're going to start over, which I'm actually kind of excited for. I think they've done this style of Marvel good enough.
Yes.
They've told us enough stories in this style. Let's switch it up a bit and have, you know, the sacred timeline kind of come back, but completely different. Give us X-Men. I want X-Men so bad.
We're ready for X-Men, yeah.
And also, I know there's talk about
Four.
I know there's talk about switching Kang for Doctor Doom. Save Doctor Doom for when it's actually for the Fantastic Four. But don't kind of do this. Oh, you know, Jonathan Majors is in a bad place right now. Let's switch everything up and put Doctor Doom instead. Just stay the course, get the reboot, and then start working on other things like Doctor Doom.
Yeah. So what is the current plan with Jonathan Majors? Obviously, you can see his performance right now as Victor Timely in Loki season 2. And previously you saw him in season 1 towards the end of Loki season 1, as well as the main antagonist in Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So what is the plan for Jonathan Majors and the character that he would portray, or characters, because Kang, there are many, because of his current legal issues right now. So there is a article by Variety that kind of leans in a little bit more about would Marvel have a backup plan? Apparently allegedly there was a Marvel retreat, and the mood was a little bit kind of like low because it sort of, they went on the retreat right either as during or after like the allegation about Majors had come about. So obviously, like if I was, you know, on the creative side of things or like publicity, I would also worry, because you're like, okay, how is this going to affect him? And therefore, how is that going to affect this franchise? And they've invested in him to make him out to be the next big bad. So how is that going to shift? Honestly, like we don't know. Marvel isn't saying anything, and like I would also have like I get it. You know, as a business, it's kind of like, you know, you want to figure it out first before you put out some sort of a statement.
Yeah.
And I think with Majors, he's still like dealing with trials and stuff like that.
Well, I think the first trial he was found not guilty.
Not guilty, yeah.
So, and now he's turning around, and so it's really complicated.
It's pretty, yeah. There's a lot of like I read just a bit on it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because it could. I don't know. I'm just gonna watch and see how it plays out, and you know, let the truth come out. But it'll be really, I think it'll be pretty messy if they end up not being able to use the actor for Kang now that they have already established it. Like, is it correctable? I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think there's gonna have to be a lot of like hustling behind the scene of like, then who are we going to get to be Kang if we can't have this actor? Do we pull somebody currently from Loki that we can use and make it into that? And
you had a theory about that.
I had this crazy theory that it's not Jonathan all along, but it was Kiki Kwong all along.
I don't want Kiki to be a bad guy.
No, he can't.
He's too good of a guy.
That man is too sweet.
But honestly,
wouldn't that be like crazy though?
I mean, look
Kiki
what they
Kwong
did
as a villain.
I think look what they did with Rhodey. I really think that they could, if worse came to worse, just switch out the actor. I mean, it's not like Kang is like Chadwick Boseman, to where he was beloved as this character. I feel like you could just switch up the actor and everything would be fine, and you can keep the storyline. I feel like this reactionary jolt of no, we have to change everything now is a little much because we don't even know what's going on. And I guess that's one of the big things about the retreat. They sat there and they just discussed all of their options.
Yeah.
But I'm curious on what path they're going to take. I think if worse comes to worse, you can just recast and keep your storyline.
I think one of the things that really like stuck out to me was this quote by, they didn't name the source, but in the article from Variety, it says one of the top deal makers who has seen the final episode of Loki. I'm assuming they're talking about, wait, when was this published? Hold on. Because when they say Loki, are they talking season 1 or season 2? This was released. Cool. It doesn't tell me when it was written. Either way, the quote says, Marvel is truly effed with the whole Kang angle, and they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently. Okay, so maybe season 2. Rewrite until very recently because of the writers' strike, but I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. So that's interesting. And again, unnamed source, but it's allegedly a top deal maker who has seen the final episode. So like, I don't know what that means. It's one of those things that we have to wait to see how, the case plays out first and foremost, because I think that's the most important. And then Marvel can kind of make decisions based on that. I also remember when everything first came out, Jonathan Majors' manager and publicity both dropped him.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And
it seems like that's a big reaction.
Yeah, I
to
think
what
so
we
too.
knew what was going on.
Right. And then somebody mentioned in the comments just now that his MKU did, Disney removed Magazine Dreams, which starred Jonathan Majors, from their release calendar recently. So, but that could also have something to do with like the strike, because he can't promo right now. So we will see.
It is a weird combination of a mess.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. So we will see. And I think it's just, I feel like they obviously invested in the guy because he can act. He is a great performer. We really enjoyed him in Lovecraft Country. He's in Creed 3. So like, if you've watched this and what's that? It wasn't he in with it was like they were pilots.
Oh,
Defiant. Nope, that's not what it's called.
Was it something about the Tuskegee Airmen? Is that the one that you're?
Nope. I think that's wrong. Somebody's gonna say it in the comments. Somebody's gonna say not Aviator. That's not.
That was with Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll see if I can look up
Devotion. Thank you. Oh. I knew one of you guys were gonna. Thank you, Movie Budge. Thank you, Glenn Powell. Yes.
Names. Yes. Terrible with names.
So the other thing that we want to talk about before we get into the Loki stuff is, could the original Avengers return, and should they return?
Do you want my quick reaction to this?
No. Reaction to that.
That's my reaction to this. No, don't do
Why
that.
Not?
I don't want to. I mean, we've seen them. They've had their moment. It was a great story. That entire art. If you bring back Robert Downey Jr. in the exact same way that he is that Iron Man, like you pull him from the past, you do like some timeline
sort of a thing.
If it's a branch timeline, okay, maybe
for a cameo.
Yeah, and for something like that. But I don't want them to be like, well, the direction that we're going, the path that we've paved isn't working out. Let's go back to what did work and let's just cannibalize what we did. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Just find your story, find your path, and try to continue down that way. And just to be able to be like, to kind of give up and then just go back to what worked, seems like it's not going to end well. I don't think it's going to.
It lessens the impact that they had on the MCU and the stories if they brought back those versions of them.
Yeah,
specifically.
And it just seems like it's kind of like all of the sacrifice, all of the things that meant stuff. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, oh, you know what? We can just pull them back anytime. And it's the exact same person, exact same timeline. Makes it less impactful. Kind of like when we found out that Rhodey was a Skrull for most of the past couple of years in all the Marvel properties. You make all of these moments between Rhodey and Captain or Sam when they're in the museum, and you're like, oh, but that was a Skrull. And then you're like, all these other moments that Don Cheadle at the time did not know he was a Skrull, just gave these amazing performances and these amazing moments. And now you're like, oh, wait, it was just a Skrull. And I'm just like,
doesn't feel,
it feels cheapened, and it lessens good things that you did in the past.
Before we dive further into this topic, just want to say thank you so much to Anthony for your super chat. Dustin, Wendy, hi. Thanks for going live. Sorry, I know this is early on the topic list, but we now know Loki's glorious purpose. Yes, we'll talk about that in just a bit. Off to work. Thank you, Anthony. Have a good day at work. Thanks for stopping by. And then Roger, I see your super chat. We're just going to save it for the Loki discussion. So yeah, Tourism here says Dustin's a Skrull.
I might be.
Do the face all the way. I was gonna say do the face reveal, but they don't do that. They just ew.
Sorry. Kind of like a Mystique in
Yeah.
in X-Men.
That's better. I like that better. Okay. So according to an article from ScreenRant.com, they write that given a report that Marvel is allegedly considering bringing back the original Avengers, the original cast, return to the MCU is now more likely than ever. Marvel Studios reportedly contemplated the possibility of MCU movies starring the original 6 Avengers, and this movie is far from being confirmed. The project, this is all alleged, right? The fact is that this scenario might still be on the table for the studio, given plenty of credibility to the theory that Avengers Secret Wars will feature the return of characters like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, Chris Evans' Captain America, and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow.
I can see them doing that in Secret War, but just for that. But to bring them back in for anything else makes me just go, doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. I mean, honestly, any idea can be pulled off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any plan. You know, if you do it right and you have a good structure and you like have a good storytelling, yeah, you can make anything work. I just don't want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see other things.
Tony's sacrifice was so good.
Yeah.
That you're right. It feels like then if you brought him back and he was all in good, and it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't know. I feel like that was such a good moment. I don't want them to. Yes, it was really sad, but at the same time, I don't want them to take it away either.
Yeah.
You know. So. We will see, because again, all of this is unconfirmed. Who knows what Marvel has up their sleeve? And I think the best thing to do is just kind of like wait it out and see how everything plays out. I feel like they've also, had a lot of interruptions throughout this entire phase, the pandemic, the lockdown, or what is that? Is that what it was? The lockdown? So
yeah.
Is that what we called it? I try not to remember. In quarantine, yeah. We try not to remember. Then it was, the writer, like then everything finally like started to, okay, we can reopen. We don't have to, follow the really strict like COVID protocols on set anymore, which helped a lot, because I think a lot of times they were only like limited to a certain number of cast and crew to be on set due to that protocol. And I think that does affect filming. Did they make it work? Absolutely. But was it harder for everybody? Also, yes. But then we had the writers go on strike to fight for a fair deal. And now they're back to work, but the actors are still picketing and fighting for a fair deal. I believe they're still negotiating with the ANPTP throughout today. So fingers crossed that they are offered a deal to, everything that they want. The sticky points where I believe AI and residuals were like the 2 big ones. And I'm just like, just AI bad, residual good. So just give them what they want. So everybody wants to go back to work, because it's not just the actors that are affected. It's crew. It's special. It's so many people. So like, let's hammer this out and let's, get it done. So yeah, I kind of feel the same. Like it would be fun to see them in a cameo for Secret War.
Yeah.
But maybe like just limit it to that.
And I wouldn't mind seeing different variants of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone, I can't remember, I saw it scroll past. Someone mentioned, Tony in What If?
Oh, episode 6. Yeah, it was from Leo.
Yep.
Leo wrote this.
To see different versions. I mean, you can still have Robert Downey Jr. come in as a variant of himself.
Mhm.
Bring in Tom Cruise, because everyone was always like,
Everybody wanted that.
everyone wanted Tom Cruise to come in as a variant of Iron Man.
I think that would be interesting to see. I don't necessarily like want it, but just
Yeah.
like if it's there, sure, why not?
Well, and also if it's gonna be if Secret War is gonna be the end game of the multiverse saga, jumping the shark at that point is perfectly fine when it comes to multiversal stuff, because that's what it's there for.
Mhm.
It's there for to be the big ending of all of this accumulated stuff.
Yeah. We have a couple of comments from the chat that I want to call out. Nick says, and actually, here's something crazy. What if they came up with the Spider-Verse versus the Kang multiverse? You know what I'm saying? That would be an insane crossover.
It would be really cool to get
an insane
some
crossover
of the Spider-Verse and what we've gotten from Sony into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know, getting a Miles Morales in there, get a Gwen Stacy in there, and getting some of those. Get Hobie.
Oh, Hobie's
honestly,
great.
I would
We
love to see
Hobie so
a live action
much.
Hobie, because he was such a fun character, and he was in it for like a total of like 10 minutes.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough. Bring him back for, what is it? Beyond the Spider-Verse is what the next one is called?
Yeah, because it was Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, bring Hobie back. And then the next comment from Jacob writes, "Hey, Wendy, I think that that Loki and his friends at the TVA is going to play a big part in Avengers Secret Wars, and future X-Men and old Spider-Man characters as well. Bring back the 2012 Avengers by time travel. It's all possible." So I think with that said, I think it's safe. I know we have a couple of other topics, like we were going to talk about Disney food, but I think we've waited long enough, and let's just get into Loki episode 5, and let's talk about it, because that was an episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's possible, given what we have seen so far, and where it ended, and Loki's ability to time slip to a specific space. Time and space.
He can go. It looks like he can go. Yeah, he turned into that one character from Heroes, where he can go from. He can control time and space.
Yeah. And I just, that was an insane episode. So yeah, I think it's possible. Will they do it? I don't know. But also at the TVA, they still have all those. Casey in a desk drawer has all the Infinity Stones.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Including the Time Stone. So if he can't, or doesn't use his like new time slipping ability to do that, there's also the Time Stone that he can use.
Actually, one thing that I'm a little nervous about. I feel like now that Loki has this power to be able to time travel and also travel through space, is that they're just gonna. I'm afraid that they're gonna pull in this last episode some time travel shenanigans, to where it's just like, oh, Loki can now fix it through traveling through time, and I'm kind of like, ooh, I didn't really want to see that, but I mean, they can always pull it off. So it's always, once again, we're coming up to the point of a show to where they have to stick this landing. They've built,
oh God, please.
They've built it up to this point.
Yes.
And so far, the last couple of Marvel shows have not sticked the landing. I mean, I'm going to even say Disney Plus shows. Even in Ahsoka, I liked the show. I enjoyed it, but Wendy did it great. She says, I like it, but I'm not satisfied. There was something there that they didn't quite perfectly stick the landing. Same thing with Secret Invasion. They had a good build up, but they just didn't stick that landing. So it all comes down to this final episode.
Yeah. And like potentially, do we get a third season of Loki? Because that would be cool. This season, I have been really impressed by everything. The way they're slowly building up the story, the introduction of I was gonna say the new characters, but technically I guess it's just one new character in Kiki Kwan's Ouroboros. I don't really count Victor Timely as a new character, because we kind of already knew that he was coming because of Jonathan Majors' involvement, with Marvel playing Kang and his variants and whatnot. So,
and also the fact that we saw it at the end credit scene for Ant-Man 3.
Mm-hmm. So we will. I'm so excited. The more I thought about it and the more I was reading about, the comments that people are leaving on our reaction video was just like, oh, like Loki is now truly like the god of stories, And what an arc for him when going from this like selfish, all about myself person, because this is that same Loki.
Yeah,
this
no,
is that
it
that
really
that
is.
is the biggest arc to just like, and that scene in the bar between him and Sylvie, they always have some sort of like a really good heart to heart.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's kind of him talking to himself in a way, so it's interesting. But when Sylvie was like, "What do you want?" and she kept on pushing, but it wasn't until the bartender, who just kind of be like, "Hey, what do you want?" asking about a drink, and he was just like, "I want my friends back." And I'm like, "Oh, Loki, you have friends now." Like, look at him when he first entered the TVA. He hated everything, tried to lie and cheat and magic his way out of things.
Well, and also how many times he talked about, oh yeah, I was mad at my brother and my father, so I went down to Earth and brought an entire army just to piss them off. And just to get attention from them.
Yeah. And I'm now like, look at him now.
And now, yeah, someone said in the chat, we've now kind of found out what Loki's glorious purpose is the fact that, yeah, he is there to kind of fix the TVA. He is there to go on this journey. It's this variant that is the one that is doing glorious things, to have this purpose.
Yeah. I think another really interesting thing, there was this sort of like urgency of him trying to like reassemble his friends, and
friends assemble,
and sort of rushing against time, and getting to see like that TVA, being completely spaghettified was really interesting. It was giving us scene. The whole feeling of like everything is getting dusted, but now it's not, doesn't pretend to just people. Because with Thanos snapped, it was his population.
Yeah.
But this, it was everything, buildings, whatever. Because the branches they are dying off, and everything along with it, including Sylvie, which was like such a shock. I think one of the other really interesting things to see is Ki-Wan's like branch timeline character. I cannot remember the name of his.
Oh yeah, the guy that was the writer, the scientist that wanted to be a science fiction writer.
Yeah, but when he walked into his like super secret layer lab thing, and it pulled back, and we both went, "Oh my god, this man build the TVA?" Because it is literally the exact same space. It's just painted, all like green and whatnot, when we see it later in the TVA. And then he also mentioned that, oh yeah, there's no one around for miles.
Yeah.
He mentioned that, and I was just like, so was it OB who wrote the TVA handbook, built the TVA, or was it actually Loki?
I think what happened is that because it's a little bit of what OB had and what Victor Timely had, and then it's going to be Loki that kind of brings the two together. And the fact that there are a little bit of jump back and forth between them because of Loki, because of the actions that Loki took. So I'm just, once again, they have to stick this landing.
Yeah.
They have to make all of these little pieces make a cohesive sense.
Yeah.
And I think at the very end of the episode 5, he time traveled to right before the
Victor
went out, or is that after Victor went out? So,
unsure, but it was around that time. So if he gets out, I'm hoping the next episode will pick up from because if you think we only have like at the longest 50 minutes, right, for the episode. If he pops in and he pulls Victor back from running out there, and he runs out instead
because he's actually immune.
It didn't affect him.
It looked like
he's the failsafe.
Yeah, it actually seems like he could not be affected by spaghettification, because all of these things were being spaghettified.
Yeah,
I'm saying that word a lot, all around him, but he didn't. Right. So there were so many times that happened in the TVA with Sylvie, with all of his friends. So I'm wondering if that's why you're right. He's going to pull back Victor. I don't even think he's going to put on the suit. He's probably just going to run out
there. He probably doesn't need it.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't need it. And he can maybe move at a different speed than remember how slow Mobius was going the first time around.
And maybe that's why Victor got spaghettified so violently, because he was like, yeah, bam.
I still remember. I can still like see it in my head. Also, another comment had pointed out in the reaction video that when initially Loki was pruned and then plucked from time, he kind of slingshot it back and he was unaffected without a suit.
I was actually the one who pointed that out.
I'm sorry.
It might have also been in the comments. I don't want to take credit away from someone else that did not hear me say that. But yeah, when Mobius used that little grappling hook to pull Loki from the timeline when he got pruned by himself, he was flying without a suit through all of that space and all of that radiation. Nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that he could just hoof it right on out there.
Yeah. So would that means the consequences of that would that Victor Timely doesn't get to do this? And does that kind of start the whole, like, I could have had this, that was my moment, you took it away from me, and his turn from being curious inventor and scientist to...
Yeah, like but remember, he's
just a variant.
He might be just a variant, but he's also He Who Remains. He's the one who, weaponized Elias. I would like to see that. I would like to see how that happens. I don't think they're going to put that in there, though, because...
Is that a comic book thing?
I don't think so. Actually, I don't think Elias. No, Elias is mentioned in the comics, but I don't think he is what he is in the series.
Or what is Elias?
Elias is the that smoke cloud monster that eats all of the things in the void that gets pruned.
Oh.
So I don't think they're going to mention that. I think they have too much on their plate right now to be able to wrap up.
Right.
But I'm nervous and excited at the same time.
Yeah,
to
I
see
know.
This next episode coming out. Oh, geez, we still have a long ways before it comes out. A few more days.
Yeah, but it's okay. I think.
Elias.
Oh,
so it's like Goliath,
Elias,
but like Elias.
Elias.
Sorry, I'm terrible with the English language.
Names,
titles, everything. I do apologize.
Okay. Yeah, I'm this was kind of like a spin that I feel like we should have seen coming. I really feel like, in hindsight, that like the show is called Loki and like he would be the key to all of it to all of this. And I think I was so focused on like, but how is Who He Remains, what he said, how is that I think I kind of focused a little bit on that rather than what was literally right in front of me. So I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see how it's gonna turn out. And like also, I think somebody was saying that when he got bamfed after the episode 4 Victor Timely spaghettification and everything, kind of blowing up, the TVA that he found himself in was like a new TVA.
Yeah, like they hadn't finished building it yet.
Right.
Because like there was no pie. Yeah. There was no people, of course.
There was no people, yeah. So just think about like the person that kidnapped Mobius and plucked him from his timeline would have been Loki. It's Ouroboros. It's snake eating. It's that
a snake eating its hotel. That makes a lot of sense.
Ah, wow.
That you need that, and you know what? We're probably going to find out too that He Who Remains is. I think this is all part of his plan. I really want it to be that at the very end, you see, He Who Remains just goes, and everything comes together.
Oh, it has to be.
And I wanted to see that.
No, it doesn't have to be. It'll be how Marvel wants to tell the story.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
I would like for them to kind of like, bring it back to that at the very least. But we'll see. John Elite writes, could Renslayer be a female variant of Kang? Not the first time I've seen that.
No, honestly, I think it is. I mean, they've really been pushing this, Loki and Sylvie being variants of each other. Mm-hmm. It would make a lot of sense that there would be a female version of Kang. If there's a female version of Loki, why not? And the fact that it's Renslayer, and I like that. I really like that idea that he needs Renslayer. We also don't know what happened to Renslayer because
she's in the void.
Yeah, she got pruned. She's in the void.
And Miss Minute.
And Miss Minutes had a complete and utter shutdown.
She had a factory reset.
You'll never be him.
She's so evil. I love it. Evil clock.
And when she turned into like, when she was watching all of those people get squished,
she was like, ah.
I was like, oh my God, you're crazy.
She is a psycho. Oh man. No, this season.
She really is the crazy ex-girlfriend.
This season has been so good and so much fun to watch. I actually like it better than season 1, which is I think saying a lot because I thoroughly enjoyed the first season, but this is going to it's just so much more elevated, like performance and everything. I feel like just got kicked up a notch.
And we started right off with hitting the ground running with this season. You know, literally, the first shot is Loki running through the TVA.
Yeah.
But I also just the pacing of this, the characters, the development of each thing, of how one thing can affect another, but it was affected by something that you did in the future, not something you did in the past. And I love that kind of time travel story. It's really interesting. And you're seeing a lot of evolution of different characters. So far, I really like it. But once again, stick that landing, Marvel.
Yeah. So we will have to all wait until 6 p.m. Thursday, 6 p.m. PT on Thursday to find out. But that is definitely something I'm looking forward to this week. Actually, there's a lot of cool stuff that we're getting to do this week. I don't know if I can say, so I'm just not, but look forward to a lot of movie review. Well, not a lot, but at least one movie review coming this week.
Yeah, but because the Marvels.
I think you can say there will at least be 3 videos on the review side of things, counting Loki, which is a reaction/review. But otherwise, there will be 2 other movie reviews coming to the channel for next week. So looking forward to that. Also, now that we're done with this topic, I feel like I can use a little bit of time before we go to talk just a little bit how excited we are for Disneyland's winter/festival, like holiday foods, because they released it not too long ago. It's going to be available in 6 days at Disneyland. I will actually be at Disneyland that day, but it's for work, and so he won't be there. And I think it's only for a short amount of time for like media stuff. But I don't know if we're going to get to try some of the food, but I sure hope so, because I don't plan to like eat anything until I get to the park, and like just hope that maybe they will feed us.
And they're also going to be putting up a lot of probably shorts of these different foods.
Yes.
Also, when Wendy's going to go on the 10th. I think we're both going to go on the 13th or 15th.
Something like that. TBD, because sometimes we cancel our reservation last minute.
And on the 10th, the new Adventureland Treehouse is opening up at Disneyland. I'm super excited to walk through it, and I'm definitely going to be putting some video up on our channel, either on Shorts or on our TikToks.
Yes, probably Shorts, because we haven't been doing anything on TikTok at all.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we need to start posting there. So with that said, you guys, let us know, in all the videos, just always comment your thoughts. What?
Oh, Nick, that's actually a really good idea. If things go completely wrong, yeah.
Okay, let's read it first. Nick writes, Renslayer, that is, you can just replace her. Oh, actor for Jonathan Majors.
Let's say, for example, things go terribly wrong for Jonathan Majors. And Marvel's like, okay, we have to replace him. Put her in there. Put the actress who plays Renslayer as a Kang variant.
Until they can...
And then make her the main bad guy of Kang Dynasty.
I do love Gugu Mbatha.
She does a great job. And I'm like, you know what? That would be a good solution.
Yeah.
But that's just us sitting here. I highly doubt there's any executives at Disney or at Marvel listening to our talk.
Yeah, but I feel like they have such a large creative team that for sure that's something that they either have explored or thought about exploring or is exploring.
Yeah.
Like for sure. There's so many like thinkers over there. There was I don't know if I can find that comment again, and I'm losing it in my head. Oh no. Oh yeah. We were talking about like, do we have Marvel fatigue and what like Marvel's like next plan is? And so one of the comment, and I can't remember who it came from, but it said like, hey, if you're getting a little like tired of Marvel, I'm not getting tired of Marvel, but I understand some people may feel that way. There are other shows out there, and so I wanted to take this time to plug that we have been doing reactions for Gen V. We are behind on Gen V. We haven't watched the finale, and also I haven't edited episode 7 of Gen V, but it's in the can. It just needs to be edited, so it just takes a long time. As well as Invincible season 2. We've watched the first episode. Again, that should have been out already, but I did not have the time to edit it, so I'm going to try to work on that this coming week as well to get that up. But did Invincible all 4 episodes drop all at once?
I don't think all 4 of them
just
did.
The first
they might have,
2?
but I didn't check. But also we
right
are
now.
trying to get caught up on The Boys. We're trying to see if we can
just watching. We're not doing reactions.
Yeah, we're just watching them. So hopefully we can get through seasons 1, 2, and 3. So when season 4 comes out, I think season 4 is slated to come out.
Oh, just episode 1.
Late 2020 or mid 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So
say that again. Sorry.
Season 4 of The Boys is slated to come out in late 2024. So hopefully we can get through all of The Boys, and then we can actually do reactions to season 4 of The Boys.
So I will say this: I am so glad we started watching The Boys. Like kind of because we've like caught various episodes and like snippets here and there, but to like sit down and really immerse ourselves into it, and we were able to watch the episode about the plane going down. I'm so glad we saw that, and it just happened to work out with the timing with Gen V and those reveals. I was like,
I'm so glad you got to see that.
Because you knew about it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I have context behind it, because I think I would have still been shocked, and it still would have been a good moment if I hadn't watched it. But now that I have, I was like,
I get it.
Oh, I'm so glad I saw that. So anyways, those reaction videos / reviews will be coming up on our channel as well as all a bunch of trailer reactions that you will get between today and tomorrow. And then I will work on the longer edit stuff. Yeah. All right. So that's it for today's live stream, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you to everybody who sent in a super chat. We love you so much. And we will be back. Are we available next Saturday?
I don't know. I'd have to go through my schedule and double check, and maybe we can make it next Saturday. No, I am not available next Saturday.
No, really?
I am super busy next Saturday.
What about for shoot?
And I work Friday.
Okay, so
and Thursday.
Maybe Sunday will have to be our live stream to talk Loki finale. Would that work?
Okay, yeah, because we'll find some time after Loki comes out to be able to sit down and talk about that finale.
Yes.
Because yeah, that is a very important finale to be able to sit down and talk about.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Maybe Friday evening. Maybe a Friday evening.
We'll see. We'll see what we can pull.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will see you guys in the next video or on the next live stream. Have a good rest of the weekend. Be good. And all right, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.